Welcome. Hey guys, we'll have some fun today. I'm just going to draw and we'll try again tomorrow on figuring out why Flash Media Encoder Live, whatever it's called, does not want to accept or find the video. So this is, if nothing else, I'm going to teach you how to encode your videos one problem at a time. So I think I'm ready. After all that, I don't think I have my sketchbook here. Hang on. Oh, there we go. So the strip I had planned for tomorrow is done. We actually, it was one of the ones that was drawn in the last Hangout, but I came up with a cuter idea for opening day baseball, and I thought I'd do that instead. So that's what we're going to do. I think that I'm going to point this down at the piece of paper. Again, they're this big. They come out of, I don't know if you care about this, but we're going to do this in here. This is what I use. And the key word here is smooth surface. I do not like the vellum. With brushwork, it's too bumpy. So with the brush, you need a little smoother. You can even feel it. It's not chunky like the vellum is. So I use just a Strathmore Bristol Smooth. And then I cut it down. Oh, let me show you that too. I'm so organized here. Yeah, I cut it down. You can see that you get that when I'm done. Okay. Yay! Oh, it is Saturday. Cloudy here. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it is going to be a beautiful weekend. Got a little bit of freelance to do this weekend. Some animation I'm doing for a client. A little animatic work this weekend, and I wanted to get like 2 or 3 of these done because next weekend's off weekend for my son's mountain bike team. So I'm actually home and screwing around the studio. But I wanted to let you know that your money for the month was, oh, here's my garden. Can you see it? There you go, garden. We put the butterfly plants out here so the butterflies and hummingbirds will show up. But the old weather fence to keep us from seeing the neighbor. Let's see if we can figure out how to do this. I'm just going to use this guy. I'm going to set up my, once I get a little better, once I can get the media encoder to work, I'm going to set up the DV camera, and we might even have a 2-camera setup going. Because I'm not going to lose at this. We will figure this out. Anyway, yeah, cloudy here today. Kind of weird. It's supposed to be like 60 degrees up in, actually that might be fog. I hadn't even looked at the weather this morning. So as we've looked at the book before, here is the book. I guess you guys need to, there's the sanity sketches, and then norm drawings, sanity sketch, norm drawing. Oh, I haven't done that one yet. That one's done, that one's done. Sanity sketches. That one's done. You can see that I've marked them because I have nothing to do on the boat ride to work, but this is the one we're going to do today. And it was a sanity sketch. It started as a sanity sketch one day. So I've written the gag over here based on the sanity sketch drawing. And this came out of, I don't know if you guys remember a while back when I had asked you all if you had any ideas for norm gags. I think I did that on Facebook, but wherever I did that, I got a lot of kind of responses. And some of them were actually useful and interesting and within the realm of norm. Not that that's surprising, it's just, I kind of said that like I didn't expect that. That was very rude. I didn't mean to be hurtful. The responses were cool, and one of them was, I'd like to know more about what Renee's going through. And that actually made me kind of sit up and say, oh, you know, interesting idea. What is Renee going through in Norm 4.0? And so this sketch came out of that idea of like, what would frustrate Renee? But you have to remember that the norm is a single person perspective strip. So everything's got to be from Norm's point of view normally. This one right now is going to break that rule. See, I end on Renee here. I'll show you what she says, but because that would ruin the gag. But if I end on her and Norm's not in the frame, then the conceit is that Norm knows what she would think next or something like that. So it's something I've tried to hang on to as a rule in the strip instead of being sloppy about the writing is you're supposed to have everything filtered through Norm's opinion or Norm's point of view, since he is your narrator and not a very good one. He's quite unreliable. So I was going to, I've got pens in my basket, but I was going to pick a pencil out of my handy dandy. Look at this little beauty. It's a old King Features. It was probably handed out by sales to newspaper editors. And the reason why I know that is this came from a newspaper editor, and not from when I worked in newspapers, but my father-in-law managed a private club up in Eureka, California, and the newspaper editor was one of the members, and he had this sitting in his desk, on his desk at work. I go, where'd you get that? And he said, oh, I got that from the Eureka Times Herald or whatever they're called up there. And so, of course, he eventually gave that to me. Since I gave him grandchildren, he gave me this. Okay, so pretty cool though. Look at that. You got a bunch of, I'll take the, I've got this. Everybody needs one of these in the studio. God knows when you're going to need a clip. Yeah, there's a lot of people on here. There's the Phantom. There's Steve Canyon. Archie. Hi from High and Lois. Oh, Flash Gordon. No idea who that is. Prince Valiant. That's probably like an Apartment 3G thing. That's Snuffy Smith. I think that's Mark Trail, unless, no, I don't know who that is. That's, of course, the dad from, oh, wow, totally blanking. Jigs, Maggie and Jigs. So Bringing Up Father. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Bringing Up Father. Oh, there's Coco out back in the garden. Hey, puppy. And yeah, some others. This was in my paper when I was a kid. Her name was like, totally blanking on the name. Lily, something. Anyway, I don't know who that is. That's Henry. Interesting thing about Henry, if you want some cartoon history, Henry started in like Collier's Magazine or Saturday Evening Post. And when he left the magazine to become a syndicated cartoon, this is a little guy, it's a pantomime strip. When the artist left the Saturday Evening Post, I'll just get in real close on Henry there. I think it was the Saturday Evening Post. When he left the magazine, they needed a new magazine, and there was a gal there who was also a cartoonist, and they asked her to do the new strip. And we all know who that became. So can anybody tell me who replaced Henry and became a very famous comic strip character as well? And in fact, the character is basically Henry's proportions with a set of hair on her head and a dress. So we'll talk about that a little later. And then because of this, these two creators actually own their copyrights, because since they were, like Skippy was also a magazine cartoon before it went to newspapers. And so they own their copyrights, and these people made a lot more money than most cartoonists did because they owned their work. Yay! Okay. Nearly excited. Anyway, I love my pencil. It's really cool. Alrighty. I should put my, look what I found here. I found an old Superman pencil from, it says 1978 or 6 on it. So I'll put that in my King Features salesman swag. I need a pencil. And here we go. All right, so the idea was, the idea of this gag was, you're probably saying, what do I use this for? It holds my book open. Oh, there's today's sanity sketch. Where was it? Oh, there we go. So, yeah, so that's what the clip's for. So the gag would be Renee is doing something. I'll do the whole book. It's getting too fat for that, though. I got another one over here. So the gag would be Renee is reading a book. Taylor shows up. So Renee will go there. See if I can draw a little bit more so you can see what's going on. It's kind of a close-up medium shot, and then we'll put Renee here again. And this is one of those panels where, film-wise, I would want it to replicate itself. So, we go ahead and put Renee right there. And she turns her head, and we want the chair in there high enough that the arm would be in. So you can see here that I have a problem here because otherwise Renee is like 8 years old and is fitting in this chair. So let's back up and do that again. I'm going to draw this one first and match this one next. Does that make sense? And then this third panel down here is a bit of a pan over to reveal that Boy Norm is there as well. And so, so we'll put that in now. We know that Boy Norm goes here and Taylor goes here. Okay. They're going to be about that big, I think. But the reason why I'm doing this is that we need to know how big it is to get that chair into the right size, because she is way too low in the chair. So let's go fix our layout here first. Yeah, it'll be more like that. Yeah. Be with you in a minute here. Oh, we'll do this again tomorrow. We'll try again tomorrow at, I think I put 1 o'clock. And I changed the original Google Hangout. And I'm not good at this date thing, obviously. Just not really good at that. All right, so chair. See, I had her chest here before, so let's put her here. Put her head up here. I think the main thing is that the chair is huge. So I need her here. If he's going to be there, Taylor's going to be there. Boink. I got to turn it this way. I can't. Is that shaking the screen? It sure is. Enjoy the earthquake. Okay, I got to erase this whole thing. I jumped ahead here. Do that, we'll do that, we'll do that. I draw characters before I draw background things. So we can have her head go all the way to the top. Get her dynamic line in there. Got her book here. There we go. That seemed hard for a minute. Oh, and I need to move the chair over. There we go. That's part of it. Okay, let's try that. So you see that? I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can. It's the best I can do. So, yeah, let's put Taylor right here. Plop. All right, gonna be one of these days. I just need to slow down a little bit and do things in the right order. There are days where you have magical drawing talents, and there are days where you got to work for it. So today is the day you got to work for it. So we'll just take it nice and slow here for a minute. All right, much better. Renee's nose is a little lower on her head. I'll move that neck here in a minute. There we go. Now we're starting to relax. See, it'll show up. Gotta have a little faith in your ability that you've done this before. And by you, I mean me. Too big a smile. Almost there. Oh, Justin, you're there. Let's see what you're saying. Oh, come on. Yes, I've got Justin. I've got this on. Oop. I think I've also got it up in my window here. Let me check that I've got it going on. So yeah, I'll hear you come in on my phone, but I think I've also got it. Plugged in. I don't get plugged in. There you go. You're right there. Where's the mouse? I think I've got you up here too. Yeah. Yeah, I've got it up on the window here now. So when it pings there, I'll do a refresh and then we'll go from there. Yeah. So there's Taylor. He's not looking at her at all though. Did I get that right? Yeah. All right. Flip this back so you can see what I'm doing. Bloop. Where was I? Yeah, there we go. So the some wonderful old books out that are now public domain, so it's okay that you steal them because they've been out of print for years. And it's called the Famous Artist Studio classes. And one of the nice pieces in there is on this sort of an issue here where we have a hand that goes out of frame. Can you see that? Yeah, so when the hand goes out of frame, I need a rule. You know, the frame's going to cut off there. And you have that issue of contact points, you know, where things sort of intersect. And it's the weirdest thing because no matter what you do, you'll end up with them in your drawing. Things migrate to each other as you ink. You'll end up with like this line, this nose touching this line, and you know you just want to watch your overlaps. And like this part of the neck I'll end up inking, and I got to watch out that this line doesn't touch in that corner there because those kind of things flatten drawings. And that's fine if that's your style, but that's not the norm style. So you know you want to watch out for all these little contact points here. And so that's what I'm doing here. The other one is that you don't want that elbow to land right at the corner. And so it's either got to go all the way out and come back in like I've got the hand doing here, or you should just eliminate the hand, but something's got to hold that book. And, you know, I could have her hold the book up here higher, but that doesn't make any sense. And so you want to plan ahead a little bit for that stuff. Let's see, let's draw that line a little harder down here. So you can see it, I erased it once, but you can see where it's going to cut her off there. Does that make sense? Stuff like that. The neck is a little off on her. I draw long necks, but I have a long neck, so suck it, America. Oh, there's my wife. She's watering the garden. I won't show you her right now. She would get mad. She's got all of her Giants gear on. Well, it's a hat. It's not really a lot of Giants gear. But there she is. She would get really mad if I looked it up. But yes, she is the model for Renee in the strip. And it's even her middle name. You know. Okay. So there we go. And that shirt's wrong. It's too flat. Okay, good enough. I'm going to bring her shoulders up. This is see what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring that shoulder up and it's going to end up touching right there. So I'll bring the chair down. When I worked at Industrial Light and Magic, we were chatting with oh my God, I'm totally going to forget his name. Dennis. Why can't I think of Dennis's last name? But anyway, we were talking to one of the visual effects directors one day, and we were talking about the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, which I wasn't there during that time, but we were just kind of asking like, you know, general questions of like, how'd you know to do this? And one of the questions, I didn't ask it, one of the questions was, how did you know how big to make the dinosaur? And the point was, it could be as big as they needed it to be. Shot. Hang on, that's annoying. I gotta scroll down every time. You should raise the drawing to occasionally do a close-up. Oh, you bet. There you go. So that's where we are so far. And I've penciled way too tight. I never pencil that tight. But there you go. Oh, Ralph's here too. Hey, Ralph. Let's see, somebody else just responded. And yes, Ralph, Little Lulu by Marge. It's a great story. Anyway, it's why she ended up owning it, and eventually John Stanley did most of the work on the strip because she retired, I think, only after a few years, like 3 to 5 years on the comic book side of things. But yeah, Lulu started out as a magazine cartoon as a replacement for Henry. And I think I think it's John Anderson who drew Henry. It's something Anderson. I always forget who Henry was, but it was still in my little paper when I was a kid. Oh, and the other one, this one is like Lolly's Pop or something. And it was a Little Lulu ripoff, which that's not a nice way to, who wants to be called a ripoff, right? But yeah, John Stanley did the most of the work on that. So there we go. So the idea again here was that now that this one's done, there's lots of things I could do. I could go get a light box out. I could stick it on a window. I usually stick it on a printer, and I like to ink them twice. So what I would do is come over here to my handy dandy printer, which you can't see. And I will make a quick copy of that. I'll be right back. I'm still here. Make a print in color. Yeah, good. What's going on? Oh, here. Turns out there's a start button instead of the OK button. You can see here what I'm going to do is going to be her reading a book. Taylor comes into frame, and then Boy Norm comes into frame with Taylor. So she says yes, yes, and she goes, oh no, and then we reveal them standing there in baseball gear. Not we, just me. I guess I'm the only one working on this. And then they run off, and she yells at him. And honestly, I'm not sure that won't be the last panel. It's going to be that kind of a day. That's close enough. So that's the wrong one. We're just having that kind of a day. Yeah. So, but yeah, what I'll do is I'll stick that underneath here, throw it on a light box, and then quickly do that. I'm going to throw it on the window here real quick, because this can be a light box too. But and I just use it real quick for sizing, so I can get the layout. I want it to just match a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect though. So I'll just do that. And bring it back over, and then this one moves over a little bit to fit him in, to fit Boy Norm in. So we'll hit that one too while we're here. There's the chair. And there's Taylor. Oh. Did I do that right? Yeah. Okay. So there you got it. Oh, there she is again. And that's it. Yeah, somebody posted some awesome Superman Shazam pages today on Facebook. And everybody was raving about how awesome it was. And one of the drawings in a key acting scene of Superman was literally just a copy from the previous panel. And maybe they opened his mouth or something. It was like this really poignant, emotional moment. And that stuff drives me nuts. And to me, it feels like a hocus pocus, like I'm supposed to find the one thing that's different. It's just, I go into that mode of like, well, and then I'm completely out of the story. And yeah, I just think it's a real waste to do that kind of stuff. All right, so this should be an easy one. I'm going to see if we can get that right there, and I'll put you guys up center frame. There. behind the computer here a little bit. The book doesn't need to match. In fact, we'll raise it up a little bit so it's like she lowered it in the previous shot. There we go. See, I don't want that. If I'm going to have that wrist in, I got to have that wrist in frame so that it doesn't contact on that edge there. Otherwise, you're just chopping your characters up. I loved learning that kind of stuff. Okay. It's busy outside my window today. What about you guys? Ralph, I know you're an artist, and Justin, I don't know if you draw, but Ralph, do you, even though you've got 20 lines in here, can you see the one that you're going to ink later? It's kind of weird that way, so that's about all I need to do. Super long neck this week. Driving me nuts. Whatever. I might fix it digitally. Sometimes I'll lower the heads a little bit. You know. Yeah, she's out of the frame. Look at that. What's going on? Okay, then Norm shows up. Here's Norm. Let's see if we can draw Norm today. Taylor's there. Sounds like my daughter is awake. It's totally in the wrong place. Yeah, weird day. Can't draw today. God knows we don't even want to try inking. Look at where that eyeball is. There we go. Right there. That's where that should be. Okay. Going on. Oh, the key, by the way, one of the things I was trying to do with Boynon, he has round eyes. So he's a little dead. Because there's really nothing else that tells you it's Boynon. Except for the small body. And in this shot, there's no body yet. That makes sense? Okay, and I'll show. Oh. Hey, look at that. Now there's a picture of me drawn on the window. In using the window as a light box, part of your environmentally friendly comics initiative, yes, less power consumption, exactly. That and I have to get the light box out right by my feet. I moved my studio around about 2 weeks ago, and I've got more light now. I had my desk at the other end of the room, and I'm just about ready to go buy a drawing table again. I had gotten rid of it years ago. It's been, it's been since 2003 that I haven't had a drawing table, an actual, old wood drawing table. And just went to putting a light box on a table. I've got which one do I have? I've got that, Porta Trace by whoever it is, and it's got the little thing so it stands up and does the whole thing. But this desk here is, raises and lowers, and I can turn this thing, and it's got all my drives and my computers on it. It just seemed like I wasn't at the drawing table as much when I with all the animation I was starting to do. So I'd let it go. Anyway, I miss it. I just don't know where I'd put it. Anyway, yeah, you get the idea. I'm going to skip that and we'll block this guy out for now. So the next one then is this full shot here. I'm going to do this, the reveal. And let's start with her. Let's get her pose down first. She's there. Legs are going to be there. She's got her legs tucked up in. And let's see, a little bit of, we need this hand to go on her head. Oh, that's a real nice, look what I did with that. Let me show you what I did. I love these little drawings sometimes. This thing's about a month old. But look at it, the hand's real nice there. I'm digging that. So I'm going to remember that. Get that little finger in there. So, kind of the no. And it's got to be the flat eyes. If we get her head size right now, everything else will come in together. Let's see. Feels about right. Yep. Dink. Torso. Okay. And then this arm's going to be on the chair, like so, holding the book. And now we just got to put the chair in. So I don't know about you guys. I can't draw objects and then put a person in it. I saw my students doing that in college. And you end up with these rooms that are huge, and then, or, they drew a small, one of the things I'd have them draw was this, they'd have to do a 3-character scene in a Amtrak sleeper room, which is extremely tiny. And honest to God, you'd get these log cabin size rooms because people would try to draw the room first. And it's like, plan out your shots with your characters and then wrap the room around them is how I do it, because everything will stay in proportion. And, when I don't know where I got that idea. I don't know if that's an old drawing thing, but coming from live action, I went to film school and learned production techniques and all that stuff. And, we didn't set up the camera up in a room and then put the people in the shot. You know what I mean? You put the people in the room where you wanted them, and then you set up your camera to the people. And then you thought about what the background looked like. You don't, when you're directing a shot and when you're composing a shot live, you don't, set up the shot first on the with the background and then stick your actors in. So, drawing backwards seems insane to me. And so it makes sense that you would draw your character here first and then come back and decide if there's going to be a lamp in there and, a picture frame or something to support like the, to set up the gag a little bit. And then you only need what you need for the gag. So if it doesn't matter that she's not in the living room and or she's obviously in a chair, but they have these at Starbucks. So if she was at Starbucks and I was doing this, I would, want to make sure that you knew coffee shop. So I'd put more customers in and a couple of tables, something to say, not at the house, coffee shop. But here we're obviously at home. So, at some point, yeah, you'll put the, little side table in with a glass of juice. And, do you need the lamp in there? Is there a lamp on there? So sure, but it's only to sell the rest of the gags so that everybody goes, house, living room. And if this was the chair in the bedroom, which, some people have, and that mattered to the gag, then I would, make sure you knew that it was the chair in the bedroom, that she was trying to be alone or something. Like I did, here. I did this. I'm coming back. I did this sanity sketch a long time ago. It's been over a year, but I love this idea of her actually in the closet. So, and I haven't used that in the strip yet, but the only one that got to be in there was the pug. So, something to think about, that where this takes place may not matter. And so if the gag is about baseball and it's not about her trying to be alone and get some reading done, then I certainly don't want to distract you with a lot of other things that, clues that you would be looking for as a viewer, going, why is the dog in the shot? So there won't be dogs in this one because there's no reason to have dogs, even though, there should be a pug sleeping on her lap. But it's not going to add to the gag, so, you cast for what you're trying to get across. Does that make sense? Okay. Whew. I'm molting. All right. Yeah, two dudes ready for some baseball. And obviously, I'm going to make a jump cut here. They're not going to have their heads on the chair anymore. And look how long the chair. Look how long. Look how long the arm on the chair got here. So it's not as long in this shot as it is over there. So I'll make an adjustment somewhere. So I think I need to pull back a little bit. Taylor got a little bigger here too. So anyway, let's see. When we want their noses, the one thing we do want to hit is, I don't want them much taller than this chair here. So that's where Taylor's nose goes. So as I put the characters in here, and to be honest, Taylor isn't really that small, but I'm going to cheat him today. Okay, so I'll put him a little higher, and that'll feel okay. Oops, there was a comment here. Come on. You can do it. Oh. Yeah, I keep meaning to. Ralph wrote, character first is brilliant. My wife would totally relate to your sanity sketch. That's 2 comments, Ralph, so we'll take those in order. The character first thing, and that's, like I said, I just always frame out my character and build background around it, because you never know how much you're going to need. And yeah, the sanity sketch, those are fun to do. I think I did that one on a boat, and I don't do them on the boat much anymore. People started watching too much, and I think that was the one where the guy goes, "Can I take a picture of that?" I'm like, "Ah, jeez, leave me alone. I just want to relax." I just drew the wrong guy there. Hang on. Supposed to be Taylor. I drew Boyno's body. Okay. So I don't have ball caps on them, and I might still put them on. I gotta turn the page. I can't draw the little shoes from that angle. And have super big grins. It's the can we look, what we're after here. going to be holding his glove like that, as well as the bat. It's just cuter. We want cute here. All right. I have no idea what Taylor's wearing. Guess we'll put him in pants. Yeah, this is falling apart. I can't draw today. It's weird. I blame Donald Trump. You know what I did the other week? Oh, it's the one that it's going to run next week. It's the one where Norm was playing baseball. I had the glove on the wrong hand. I had to flip the drawings digitally. Yeah, I'd put the glove on his right hand. Norm's not left-handed. He bats right, throws right. Anybody else excited about baseball this year? I'm excited. I go by I literally bike by the Giants stadium every day. And I saw that my brother went to a game last night on Facebook. Interesting. So I'm excited. I like the baseballs. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Ralph says, do I ever get used to other people watching you sketch? It's always been a little nerve-wracking for me. It's hard to get in the zone while others watching. Yeah, I don't mind the sketching part. I just, it's when they start leaning in and blocking your view. So the one nice one, I've had a couple of interesting things. One day I was doing a watercolor for my sister for her birthday on the boat one day. It was one of the Sandy sketches. And it was just a watercolor, and a real simple thing of a woman on a beach with a dog. And it was one of those. I actually was in so far down the rabbit hole that I didn't even know anybody was watching. Anyway, I finished up, and we were getting off the boat, and she leaned over and touched me on the arm, and she goes, "Thanks. That was the most magical thing to watch." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even And so we had a nice conversation afterwards. But the point being is that I didn't even know she was watching. So either I was doing quite well, or she hadn't felt she had to jump in and interrupt me. It was just nice. And then, like I said, the other one was like, I've had people start asking questions. You're like, well, so a lot of times I just hide it under the table and I'm doodling, but at some point they notice I'm dipping. I was doing the Mr. Lux one here the other day, and I had the paints up on the table, and I could see the guy across from me trying to like see what I was doing. So anyway, it's not that I don't mind. It's the Sanity sketch was meant to be my way of making sure I'm still having fun drawing. I realized about 5 years ago that I had never drawn for joy in my life, if you know what I mean. I don't think I'd drawn because I liked drawing almost since I was like 10 or 12, because people started offering, I was doing drawings for this, and then somebody's parent said, "Oh, could you draw an elevation on a church?" So I drew in how a church was going to look if they built onto a church, and got paid for it. And in high school I won a contest that got me the local record store. And so I drew for those guys for 6-7 years. So all the cartoons I was drawing for them, for their newspaper ads and t-shirts and stuff like that. And so drawing was kind of something. And when I was 15, or 13, I knew I was going to make movies, either direct animated movies or live action movies. And because I couldn't figure out how to make animated movies without lots of other people helping, I started making more and more live action films because I could find an actor or two to jump in and, be goofy. And so the art stuff just became sort of what I did on the side. And I didn't even think of going to college for design or any of that sort of stuff. Okay, here. There's that guy. So I'm going to stop there on that because I don't know what else I'm going to do. We'll come back to that one tomorrow since I'm going to do this tomorrow. Like I said, I don't like that Renee would finish off this 6th panel here. So let's go look for some more here. We have some more here to do, and I wanted to get ahead. So it's always nice when you get ahead. Here was some ideas for Renee jokes that I hadn't dealt with. Could do, this was the gag that led to the Zitz gag a week or two back. It was that mom's having a frustrating day with the two of them, and then she says, "Can it get any worse?" And they turn into teenagers. So let's see here. That one's going to be fun. It's another Boy Norm gag. But let's see, it's got to be, I think there's a different one in here. There's that guy. I thought I had one more. Maybe I don't. Oh my God, I have no more ideas. Oh no, I do. I have that one about this one. Wait, where is it? Oh, it's in the back of the book. I drew it in one of my work sketchbooks. It's kind of messy. Where are you? Anyway, let's see. We got this is it feels like I'm living multiple lives. So I did this. Yeah, this one wasn't finished, but it's a good idea. So I had this. Originally, I'd written this as Norm breaking the fourth wall, and then I rewrote it with like Ford or somebody, or Mr. Stark, talking to him. But then it gets away from, here's what I really liked. I've got 2 or 3 ideas. I like this idea of pictures at an exhibition here. And these are all the roles that are in Norm's life, So I've got 2 conflicting ideas here. I've got the pictures on the wall that are him with that. And the other idea was that, is it that you're leading multiple lives like a spy? And the punchline is, that implies that I'm trying to keep one secret. It's not that it's a double life. It's more that I'm a father, a son, a worker, a husband, all at once. And there was a punchline there somewhere. I forgot where it went. Oh, no, it's just that I'm leading all of them at the same time. I've kind of done that joke before. So I don't know if that's right yet. Let's go to another book. If we have to, we'll go to Garfield. Just steal a Garfield gag. That's where most of them come from anyhow. Oh, here's the bike gag I've been waiting to do. And let's see. I love this line. I want to come back to this gag about, hey, what are you doing? I have to be doing. And I did one gag with that, but I just like the idea that Taylor's not totally bought in yet to the world. Oh, here's the wheels on the bus one. I think we could do that one. That'd be a cute one. So, was that one done? Oh, that one's not been done either. There's the dude gag. But I'm not doing many of those work gags anymore. So, oh, we did that one, but that was a little too preachy. So I turned it into this gag where now he's doing his post-dressing nap. But originally the gag was more about no one exercises without bragging except for us. And it's just him and the dog out running, and he talks about, you know, all the people. Because every time I talk to anybody, all they're doing is talking about how awesome their exercise program's going. Oh, there was, I think it's Charlie Chaplin's birthday on the 16th of April. What's this one? Oh, that's Crunchy Tacos. We already did that. Oh, yeah, see, here was those gags. Let's see. I wrote them all down when you guys suggested gags. So somebody had said, King Christopher had said, do a gag about crunchy or soft tacos. So there's that one. And Jamie Maldonado had said, youth equals rock star superhero. And I've started working on that. I never got back to it. This one was Chris Harper had said the value of friends are like leaves that are blown together. And Duke Fuller had said, getting older, listening to your body. And so I've got a gag. This one actually will be a Mr. Stark gag when I get to it. Dating as a couple. I don't know who said that, but Melissa White said, whatever happened to Ford, Maria, Chris, and Bronte? So we did Chris. And Ford's in there. Just, she's gone. She's insane. Oh, this was Christian Brady's wistful empty nest gag that I still haven't written it up, but there it is. It's all written. I don't have a good punchline on that one yet. Norm presents day. Oh yeah, dating. Did we do this one? Not we, me. Can't remember if I did this one. Chuck the dog. Somebody asked about whatever happened to Chuck the dog. So there's a Chuck the dog there. I was going to redo this one with it being about Renee instead of Chuck the dog. Taylor's asking about, tell me a story about somebody before I was alive. I don't know, did you guys ever do that? I used to do that. I loved hearing stories about my parents before they were parents. I thought that it was fascinating, you know, that my dad had been in the army and my mom used to be a waitress, and that's where they met, and just all these kind of stories. And they lived in DC before there was any kids. My mom worked in a jewelry store, and I loved hearing those stories as a kid. My dad used to sit in there and tell me stories. I think that was about it. Yeah, let's do, yeah, that was all the ideas. This one's funny. I think I've done that one. This was about, you know, dating in high school. Dating through the ages is what it was going to be called. Steve Collison suggested that one. I swear I've worked this up somewhere else. Anyway, we'll go do this. You can see this has gone really well. So the gag starts with Norm putting on Lily's jammies. And he's doing the Wheels on the Bus song. So let's start with Norm. You guys see that? Yeah. Go ahead and get his head size together here first. There we go. Much better. See? Got a lot of control there. And they're playing Wheels on the Bus. Let's get the hips out here. Okay. that, I guess like that. Let's see, and there's Lily's legs. So she's going to be laying here like this. And torso, upper body, there we go. Arm. Oh, let's see, Lily. She's like that. Little hand. And like a changing table. I don't know what they're on there. Go with changing table. I don't remember what one of those things looks like. I can imagine that if I drew the one that we had, you know, they've changed so much. I see people going by with strollers today, and they look more like Smokey Joe's than strollers. I think it looks like somebody's barbecuing their baby with their groovy design. My wife would go, "That's a Norm joke." Yes, it is, honey. I'll forget that I said it in a week, though. Forget I said it in about 10 minutes. What am I saying? That's why I have to have a sketchbook. I just forget crap instantly. Okay, so there's Norm, and they're singing Wheels on the Bus. The bus. Musical notes, la-di-da. She's smiling. See her smile down there? Okay. Okay, there's your setup. And then maybe corner of the room kind of thing. So, we want to set up. Here's that background idea again that we were talking about. So let's go put a little baby shelf over here. I don't know what kind of baby shelves you had. We had some baby shelves in the room. Put a clock up there. Made your TikTok and put a block. A maybe. And a big L or something. Let's do that. Put a big L there. Put a bunny. I've drawn a bunny before, so we'll draw a bunny. Falling over a little bit. Okay. Got an L on our wall or something. I don't know what she's got. Let's see. Probably have wouldn't want a piece of glass above that. If that fell on her during an earthquake, she would be shattered and you don't want to do that. So we'll put a painting over here or something. And then stuffed bear down here or something. Baby's room, right? Good. How much time do we have left? I have no idea what time it is. Oh, well, we made it. That's an hour. It's probably enough for today. Why don't we wrap up, and we'll come back tomorrow, and I'll do some inking tomorrow if you want to come back. It's in the afternoon, and we'll go from there. But let's see if there's any last questions. I didn't hear anybody ding in with anything. Yeah. So I will work on seeing if I can do Adobe Flash media encoder thing, and we'll come back tomorrow. And there's one more. We'll come back tomorrow and see if we can get anything done. Oh, yeah, so here was the sketch. Yeah, it was just couple of my friends take sanity walks. Both have dealt with huge loss, actually, and they use them for that. And the sanity sketch is just a way to draw anything I want and not have to worry about getting paid for it. And remember that it's fun to draw, that sort of stuff. So I'll do another one tomorrow because I really want to work out this Flash encoder thing and get this solved. So and I'm not done, obviously, but I'll probably start inking this other thing and figure out my 6th panel by then. So if you want to come back tomorrow, otherwise I'll see you guys in a month. Thanks for being supporters. I don't have a card to read. This has been a simulcast of whatever. Anyway, have a great weekend. See you soon. Oh, yeah. Have a great weekend. See you soon.